Hey everybody, and welcome to A Late Show. I'm your host, Stephen Colbert. Man, just hearing the band do the theme song under the credits is strangely moving. I just forgot how much I missed hearing those guys. It's how many days? How many days have we been doing this? 40 days. This is the 40th day that I've been quarantined with my wife and my kids. I feel like Noah, but I only have one dog, and he's only interested in mating with my leg. We all want haircuts, obviously, at this point. We're getting a little shaggy. I did something drastic tonight. I combed my hair in the other direction just for a change of pace, and that was a bad idea. First of all, I'm getting a very patrician flop over here. This is very like mid-70s Jackson Browne, but over here there's a lot of empty real estate I didn't know was there. This is usually covered by the comb over. That is, you know what? We should talk to the network and sell ad space right there. It could say like Honda or Mountain Dew or VW. Who's a sponsor? Who's a sponsor right now?
Claritin.
It could say Claritin. Stay Claritin clear. But you're really beginning to feel it now. Week 7 of the nationwide lockdown. Don't get me wrong. I'll stay inside. Do the right thing as long as it takes. I'm just saying I didn't know I'd run out of patience before I ran out of toilet paper. Because one of the most frustrating aspects of this whole lockdown is that there isn't one consistent message from our national leadership. How come I'm grounded and Georgia gets to go outside and play? It's not fair. We both made the mistake of being mortal. Also, it would be easier to agree on what to do if we all knew how long we were supposed to do it. On Friday, we got what appeared to be good news from Vice President Mike Pence.
If you look at the trends today, that I think by Memorial Day weekend, we will largely have this coronavirus epidemic behind us.
Great. Memorial Day, put away the N95 masks, break out the N95 bikinis. But yesterday, the vice president's news got shot down by Dr. Deborah Birx.
Social distancing will be with us through the summer.
Well, of course, she's going to say that. She's always dressed for fall. The quarantine is driving everyone a little crazy, except Donald Trump. It's driving him a lot crazy. Take Thursday's press briefing. After an expert from the Department of Homeland Security told the media that disinfectants and sunlight were very effective against the virus on surfaces, Trump floated this possible COVID cure.
I see the disinfectant where it knocks it out in a minute, 1 minute. And is there a way we can do something like that by injection inside or almost a cleaning? Because you see it gets on the lungs and it does a tremendous number of the lungs. So it'd be interesting to check that.
He's suggesting injecting bleach to fight the coronavirus. It's not enough that his supporters are all white on the outside. Now, obviously, no one should do that. So this weekend, people did that. Multiple states saw an uptick in calls to poison control, and Trump's comments were universally reviled. So on Friday, he did damage control.
Can you clarify your comments about injections of disinfectant? They're quite
No, I was asking a question sarcastically to reporters like you.
Oh yeah, Trump is famous for his sarcastic comments, like this one.
Preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States.
Hilarious. Trump got so much heat for the comment that he threatened to stop doing press briefings at all, tweeting, "What is the purpose of having White House news conferences when the lamestream media asks nothing but hostile questions, then refuses to report the truth or facts accurately? They get record ratings and the American people get nothing but fake news, not worth the time and effort." Yes, it's so hostile for the press to quote the president to himself. "Look, fellas, my press briefings are all said in the strictest confidence. What's said directly into camera stays directly into camera." Now, he didn't show up for the press briefing yesterday, although the White House explained it was Melania's birthday. Yes, they celebrated by spending a quiet evening in separate rooms. They were social distancing years before it was cool. Trump also scrapped today's White House press briefing until it was announced President real Donald Trump will brief the nation during a press conference this evening. That flipped so fast I got whiplash. But I'll be fine. I'll just inject some bleach into my spine. But strategically, I think this is a good move. Because you don't want last Thursday to be the final impression of these briefings. Everybody drink poison. Donnie T out. Trump vented his frustration at the media in general. When will all of the reporters who have received Nobel Prizes for their work on Russia, only to have been proven totally wrong, be turning back their cherished Nobels? When will the Nobel Committee demand the prizes back? When will the Nobel Committee act? Better be fast. Ah, yes, the cherished Nobel Prize, given to such laureates as Albert Einstein and Martin Burger King. Now, Trump clearly meant the Nobel Prize, except there is no Nobel Prize for journalism, which the internet helpfully pointed out. So Trump revived his new favorite defense, tweeting, "Does anybody get the meaning of what a so-called Nobel, not Nobel, prize is, especially as it pertains to reporters and journalists? Noble is defined as having or showing fine personal qualities or high moral principles and ideals. Does sarcasm ever work?" Oh, sarcasm works great. Sarcasm's absolutely the best thing for a president to do in the middle of a pandemic. You're doing amazing, Mr. President. Trump might be trying to put a hold on his daily press conferences, but that doesn't mean he's given up on having an audience, because in June, Trump will travel to West Point to speak at the U.S. Military Academy graduation. Unless, of course, he comes down with throat spurs. There's one catch. Like most colleges, West Point already sent cadets home because of coronavirus, and now they have to bring back 1,000 cadets for Trump's commencement address. Now, sure, that's hazardous, but those cadets trained to bravely serve wherever their commander-in-chief sends them, whether it's Iraq, Syria, or Yugoslavia. Keep in mind, Trump did not run this speech idea by the military brass. West Point officials said they were taken aback by the impromptu announcement, making Trump the first commander-in-chief to launch a sneak attack on his own army. Getting the cadets back to campus safely won't be easy. Returning seniors will be tested off campus for the coronavirus. Those who test negative will then be sent to the school, where they will be monitored for 14 days before graduation. Really? They have to wait 14 days for the speech. That's a lot of buildup. It better be pretty good. Congratulations, class of 2020. As you embark on your journey, remember, one time, no one said I would win, but then I won Wisconsin and it looked pretty good. Lock her up. The end. You can send them home now. Once they're assembled, who knows how safe the cadets will actually be, because Trump told reporters he did not like the look of a socially distanced graduation, saying he prefers ceremonies that are nice and tight. Oh, I like it nice and tight. I want to be able to bounce a quarter off this graduation. Cadets, put on your dress Spanx. Trump's not the only danger to our military, so is North Korea. And there's a mystery brewing about North Korean dictator and man they modeled Lego heads after, Kim Jong-un. Trump's little rocket buddy hasn't been seen in public for weeks, and rumors started flying when he failed to make a public appearance on April 15th, which is North Korea's most important holiday, the birthday of his grandfather and the founder of the regime, Kim Il-sung. Well, you can't blame him for socially distancing from his grandfather. He's in that group of especially vulnerable people, dead for 26 years. So where is Kim Jong-un? Nobody knows. Last week, South Korean media reported that Kim may have undergone cardiovascular surgery. What? But he's so young and vibrant. Look at him laughing with his best friend, vat of lube. A South Korean official claims the rumors are untrue. Instead, Kim Jong-un is alive and well. He has been staying in the Wonsan area. Yes, I remember how sad my kids were when our dog Rusty had to go stay in the Wonsan area. But that hasn't stopped people from wildly speculating. It's been reported that Kim Jong-un is either in a vegetative state, alive and well, dead, brain dead, or just fine. Headlines shouldn't be multiple choice. There's a reason we never saw war or, peace. Of course, nobody knows what's really going on, and it would be irresponsible of me to speculate. that Kim Jong-un is alive or dead, or after a tragic accident at the lube factory, now just a head in a jar, which, I should not speculate, in a grotesque experiment, has been stitched to the body of a bear which now roams the forest searching for more lube. Neither man nor beast yearning for a love he will never feel. That's not just true. Or is it? It's not. But it could be. He's probably fine. Like I said earlier, quarantine continues for most people. You might have noticed, since you are one of them. And I want to celebrate you, the everyday heroes of social isolation, which is why I made these United We Stand Divided t-shirts, with all proceeds going to charity. You can get your own at colbertlateshow.com/UnitedWeStand. Thanks to you, today I'm happy to report that our shirts have raised $184,589.37 for charity. That money will be split between World Central Kitchen, where every day our friend Jose Andres is helping put food on the table for hundreds of thousands of families who are out of work, and to Give Directly, which distributes cash where it can do the most good, our nation's poorest households. So if you haven't gotten yours yet, head to colbertlateshow.com/UnitedWeStand to get your shirt. It's a quality product. And we've got a great show for you tonight. My guest is comedian and star of Broadway, John Mulaney. Stick around. Stick around.